Hello, everyone. I'm Omkar. I'm the founder CEO of Miracle.io, Germany. And today, we have yet another guest on our podcast, Miss Bhavisha Hirani, who is principal at Podar International School, Devlali, Nashik. Ms. Hirani carries with her an exceptional and a long experience in education. So she has started with across different verticals and different sections of education. She has seen different parts of education, right from early education to high school as well, and now from teacher to principal, she has seen all parts of education. She has been the founder principal of Podar International School, Khanwa Road, Indore, and now she is also the founder principal of Podar International School, Devlali. And her background, especially in assessment, life skills, value education, experiential learning, ethics, and integrity, is something that makes her really stand out from the in the education field. And especially as a CBSE resource person and an observer during board exams, she is also spreading the light of education through teacher trainings in the education field. She has also been awarded many accolades and awards, right from Progressive Principal of India in 2017 at New Delhi to Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Award and the prestigious CV Raman Award in 2021 for her sustained efforts and exemplary leadership in the field of education during the pandemic. And in 2022, she has yet again been awarded with the prestigious Global Femina Excellence Award for her outstanding contribution in leadership and management by Dr. Kalam International Foundation, as well as the Best Global Principal Award by IIU University in 2022. So, as you can see, Ms. Bhavisha carries a lot of experience in different fields of education and a lot of recognition also from education bodies in her career. And it gives us a lot of pleasure, and it's an honor to have her on our podcast today. So, Ms. Bhavisha, now the introduction that I just shared with our listeners, that is a summary of your entire journey. But I think it would be really interesting for us to know how it all started. Where did you start your journey?
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Omkar, for giving me this opportunity. Uh, Actually, I can say it all started when I myself was a student. When I gave my board exams of 10th, earlier we used to have a 3-month gap waiting for our report cards, waiting for our results in those days. So I'm a person who can never sit idle. I need to do something. So the first few months, the first few weeks, in fact, I went around doing different classes. At that time, we never had computer classes. We used to have typewriting classes. So I went and joined the typewriting class. I joined the fabric painting classes and what not I joined. But finally, I got fed up of all those. And I got an offer for a tuition to, a neighbor. She called me up, I have a small child, whether you would like to give tuitions. I said, why not? I could earn some money also at the same time. And so I started just for the sake of some, spending some quality time with children. And obviously, the amount was also there for my pocket money. In those days, it mattered a lot. So I started that, and I started teaching class 6 student when I myself was a class 10 student at that time. So that was a big challenge for me. And generally, I'm a person who takes challenges head on. So I took up the challenge and I used to teach all the subjects. In those days, you had to teach all the subjects. So I started teaching all the subjects and it was really fun for me. And when I passed the school from where I passed my class 12, the principal again offered me a job, a formal job in his own school. So he called me up saying, "Ki, Bhavisha, I've got a job for you. So would you be interested?" I said, why not, sir? Because in college, I did my graduation while I was in a job. I did both. I could manage both as it is. So I did that after my graduation. I still did a job for a year or two. And then I got married. And then there was a 5 long year gap, 5 years gap I had, my marriage, my family. So I gave time to them. And at that time, I was a simple graduate. So I never thought that I will pursue my career even after my marriage, since I belong to a conservative family, married in a conservative family. So I never dreamed that I'll be pursuing my career any further. And I thought that's the end of my career. That's it. शौक था मैंने पूरा कर दिया. Done. But then, being a person who can never sit idle, so again I was like, kuch to bhi karna hai. After my son got settled with his schooling and all, and yes, meanwhile I was doing tuition during that 5 years also while I was at home, but I couldn't sit at home for long. So again, I started looking for a job. And at that time, I was a plain graduate, a non BEd. So, but thanks to my schooling is was strong. I can say it's strong. I thank my principal, my schooling, that yes, I am at a place where I'm proud to be. So that helped me a lot. My schooling helped me, and I got a job very easily, even though I was a non BEd, under the condition that yes, I had to complete my BEd in a year's time. So I said, fine. So since I had given an undertaking, so I completed my BEd. And then again, I thought of pursuing my higher educations also. So I went for my master's degrees and whatnot. And I went on as a teacher, but very soon I have this knack of doing everything. Whatever comes in front of me, I want to try my hands on it. So soon I was in every department. I was in the exam department. I was the CCA in charge. I was the discipline in charge. I was even in the editorial board, not formally, but unofficially I was there also. Everywhere I was putting my, you can say, legs into learning everything. I had learned all about the admin department also before my marriage when I was in the school. There also I had learned all about admin department, collection of fees, how it works, making timetable. So everything was there. And after 10 years of teaching, I said, now I am into everything, so why not go for a different profile altogether? So that's when I decided ki ho gaya bahut, now I need to change my profile. So I started applying for a principal's job, and luckily I did get a job as a principal. And I started my journey as a principal in the year 2012 in Nagpur itself. And in 2013, I got my dream opportunity to work with Podar. And since then till today, I'm working with Podar. I headed the school in Indore. I was the founder principal there. Then again, I'm in Devlali now as a founder principal, and this is my fourth year here in Devlali, Podar International School. So that's my story.
Excellent. I think it's very inspirational how, what you felt was the end of your career, that was actually the start of something completely new.
Yes.
One
Yes.
door closes, the other opens, is what they say, right? And I think it's an inspiration for so many people, especially in India. Like, in conservative families, perhaps women are not required to work a job, but I think most people don't want to work or do something or build something because they're required to do it, but rather
Mhm.
because they want to, because they need to,
That's what
right?
I felt. I felt there is no aim in my life otherwise. I'm just daily waking up, cooking, doing my house chores, and then going back to sleep. There is no aim in my life. I'm not doing anything fruitful, anything, constructive. So I wanted to do something constructive in life, to do something which changes lives of others also at the same time. So that's how I started to think about it and started myself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it was a great choice. I'm sure you look back and you think that, uh, it,
Yes.
after doing so, after making that choice, I'm sure it must have been hard at that time also,
It was.
to sort of explain your choices, maybe, to your family and to the ones around you. But I'm sure that, and I'm very glad to see that you sort of took that decision, took that step, probably against some odds,
My
and
husband
here we
always
are.
supported me, so I'm very thankful
Hmm.
to my husband. He was always there. It's said that कि हर successful आदमी के पीछे एक औरत होती है, but for me it's different. It's just the opposite. For my success, the credit goes to my husband.
Great. I
He was
think it
always there, behind me.
Yeah, I think it's a lovely thought, and I think it's only that mutual support that helps us grow mutually as well. And I think it's a very good message that you've sent out there as well. That, whether it's a man, whether it's a woman, whether whatever else,
You need the
I
second
think we
half,
need to
the
support each
better
other.
half to always support you.
Right. It takes two to tango, as they say. Right.
Yes, 100%.
Great.
100%.
All right. So how has your journey with Podar been? I think you've headed a Podar Indore, as you
Yes.
mentioned, and now you're heading Podar Devlali Nashik. So how has your journey been since 2012? It's been 10 years at Podar.
It had been a great experience. Until date, I am learning, learning, and learning through Podar. Podar has given me a lot of opportunities to grow. I joined Podar when I was very new to the system of, to the principalship, you can say. I was very new. But Podar taught me. I learned. And many new things I learned how to, face adversities, how to face challenges. And Podar is a place which is a good place to learn and to become independent. You can work here independently. You are given the support at the same time, and you bloom. That's what happened to me. I learned and I became more and more confident with every passing year. Today, I can say, yes, I am successful to a great extent because of Podar. The
Excellent.
handholding, the support that Podar has given to me, I'm always blessed.
That's great. That's great. I think the organization supporting its team is the most valuable thing that an organization can do for their team members
And
and
that's
for
always
itself.
great.
Excellent, excellent. And how would you describe your leadership style? Like, what's your style of leadership?
I can say I'm a balanced leader in short. I won't use those terms of autocratic and all those stuff. I'm a balanced person. I'm very practical. I understand the needs of the people. I'm not very, firm कि नहीं ये ऐसा होना है तो होना ही चाहिए. I understand the reasons behind the things. If at all that something needs to be changed, I'm ready for it, provided it is practical.
Right.
So I feel that you have to be balanced if you are running a school. You cannot just go by the rules, go by the lines. Rules
Hmm.
are there, but then again, you have to, follow some things of your heart also, at the same time being very practical and supportive to your staff, to your people around you, to the stakeholders, especially to the children.
Absolutely. Maybe what would be interesting for me to know is perhaps one situation, probably, if I had to phrase it this way, what was the most difficult situation that you encountered as a principal at either at Podar Indore or at Podar Nashik?
So many such difficult instances come in the life of a principal. There are so many challenges.
I'm sure.
There are many challenges, especially when it comes to, you can say, convincing parents for something, and then there are aggressive scenarios also. So there are many, sir.
What's the one that you remember the most?
So I remember all.
Wow, great memory, man. Excellent, excellent. I think it's why I ask this question is because it can often serve as an inspiration for other principals, especially the ones who are
So one I had,
early.
so it was a challenge for me, you can
Mhm.
say, because in Indore, when I started the school, it was in a rural area. A first generation learners. It was full of first generation learners, and starting the school itself was a Herculean task for me because it was told that the school may not start because of the late admissions or no admissions, in fact. So, but somehow I did get the school started, little knowing the next set of challenges that I'll be, facing. So when the school started, I had children all coming from the first generation learners, all from the farmers, and teachers used to come from very far off because it was a rural area. Teachers used to come from the city. So first of all, the challenge was to get the mindset of the teachers to understand the children, what they will understand better, to train my teachers first, to bring them to the level of the children's understanding. So that was a great challenge, and it took us a few years, you can say. Not exactly a few years, 2 to 3 years in short, you can say. It took us some time, but yes, end of the day, it was so that all my children, they became experts. They were hungry to learn. Being first generation learners, whatever you gave them, they took it. But initially, it was a great challenge. Even their hygiene, we had to take care of, their clothing, their way of talking, movement, everything. It was not just education, not just imparting knowledge to them. It was about everything about their well being, on which we had to work from each and every angle. So we were kind of, not just guardians, but overall everything for them. We had to teach them right from scratch. So
Right.
that was a great challenge, which was overcome with the help of my whole team, and we were successful. And today, my children they are studying in very good, renowned colleges. And when they call me up, they talk to me in fluent English, which makes me very proud. The children who used to once call me Main, Malwi, Main, now they speak fluent English with me. So that was a challenge overcome along with my whole team.
That's excellent. And I think rural India and rural education, like you rightly said, there are a lot many more challenges than just the knowledge aspect of it. The knowledge is probably the easiest part, I would say,
Yes.
especially today where knowledge is freely available on the internet. But I think education is more holistic. It needs to be more holistic, especially at the foundational ages. And I'm sure that probably must have been one of the most challenging areas at this point throughout your career, like to set up something from scratch in a rural
That is
area.
what it is. Right from the scratch. Being the founder principal, everything is from the scratch.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think maybe one question follow up that comes to my mind is, what's the biggest difference that you see in, let's say, Podar Indore as also a founding principal over there, and Podar Devlali, Nashik?
The biggest difference I can say is the setup. That was a rural setup, and this is a semi-urban setup. I can say there's a semi-urban setup, and here also I'm in the camp area where I have people coming from Air Force and Army backgrounds. And the biggest difference here is the support. There in the rural area, there was no support of the parents by way of educating the children. They did not understand English. They did not understand technology. So that was a great challenge there, which I do not face here. So that's a great difference for me.
Indeed, and I think it's also a different time. I believe 2012, especially with the penetration of technology in the day-to-day of every
It
person,
has changed.
it has changed a lot. Like if you were to start perhaps a rural school today, maybe some of the challenges that you faced in 2012, probably you'll face different challenges, I believe,
It
today.
will
But
be lesser, but yes, it will be very much there even today in the rural
right,
areas.
right,
It will
right.
be.
Are you still in touch with any rural schools or rural educational organizations as of today? Or are you fully focusing on like
I'm in
semi-urban?
touch by way ki yes, we do keep in contact with the principals. We do discuss sometimes what's happening and
Exactly,
all
and I
that.
think probably that's great. what I gives you a think holistic it's view on excellent to see that you sort what of is got to important, what see two
Yes.
f-
Yes.
perspectives
Yes.
where are the biggest
The
challenges
opposite
that you
perspectives.
face, or maybe many other principals face,
We do face.
which I think it helps you also support your team even better when it comes to these kind of things. Speaking of team, what qualities do you look for in your team members?
Three things, especially professionalism, punctuality, and patience. Three things. Three
PQ.
P's. Three P's.
Indeed, indeed. Professionalism, punctuality, and patience. I think
Patience.
all three
The most
are
important. Patience for a teacher.
patience, indeed. Especially at that young age, where who they are, teaching and serving. I would
Patience
even
is
say.
required.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, to be fair, these three P's are applicable in literally every other field and every other role as well, not just that of a teacher. I think it's even more important in a teacher because they are working in such a sensitive
They are
environment.
role models after all, sir. All the other, you can say, jobs are created by the teachers, and they are the role models. If they prove all these three P's, the children under us will learn the three P's, and then rest how it happens.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like it's planting the seeds for the
Yes.
next 15, 20, maybe 30 years even, right?
Children learn what they see, what they observe.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think with that attitude, with that sort of philosophy, I think that's how you build a great team as well. A team that is supportive of each other, a team that is patient with each other as well, not just the students, and a team that is understanding of each other, which in turn, creates a happy working environment. Because a happy
I
school,
always say it is a happy environment in my school. Every person
exactly.
is happy and smiling here.
That's great. That's great. And I feel like a happy environment is what creates happy students, and happy students are what create
They
successful
learn
and
better. Yes, they are
learn
most.
better. Absolutely. I think that is so it's not so hard, but at the same time it's very rare to sort of see that put in practice
Easy,
on a
sir.
day to
It's easy. It's
day.
not
Yeah.
hard. It's easy. It's
Yeah,
just your way of what you want. It's up to you.
absolutely. Absolutely. Indeed. And so we've talked about your story. We've talked about how Podar at Indore and Devlali, you've sort of built up from scratch. How do you see the next 2 to 3 years panning out at Podar Devlali? What goals are you pursuing, and where would you like to be, let's say, in 2025, 2026
But in
as a
short,
school?
I dream my school to be the most sought after school in this whole city.
Great. I think that's a great summary. And what are specific initiatives that you have sort of kicked off for that to become a reality?
So right now, because it's a new school, a growing school, I should say, it's the fourth year now. We are ending towards the fourth year. And when we got started, we got stuck up with the COVID, 2 years of COVID. But during the COVID also, we did our best to ensure that our children were learning. Even with the challenges, the children did learn, and there was a lot of changes in the children, lot of improvements in the children. And this is 1 year after the COVID that we have got with the children. And we do have many more plans coming up to ensure that we give them the best in the system of education so that they are not left behind in anything. Holistic development in all the aspects, in all the areas. So we are working towards that. First of all, our building is coming up, the construction is going on. So once that is completed, we do have plans for different labs and different all other activities, education, whatever comes the best. And then again, NEP is coming up. So whatever is to be introduced, we are ready for that.
Excellent, excellent. I think that's a very holistic way of looking at it. Like, it's the core, the foundation is the principles and the values, the core values of the way of functioning of an organization, of a school. Second is, of course, the knowledge, the infrastructure, labs, as you said, facilities, maybe technology as well as a part of infrastructure and methods, right? And the third piece is, of course, specific goals that maybe the NEP sets out with very broad goals, but then interpreting them in an effective way.
We'll have
And
to put it down to certain specific goals.
exactly, exactly. So I think it's definitely a very ambitious path ahead. But I think with your leadership, I'm sure Podar Devlali is in a very, very good position to sort of
Let's
go
hope for
from
this
where they
person.
have started and taking to the next level. Great. Thank you very much, Ms. Hirani, for your thoughts and for
Thank
your for sharing your story with all of our viewers as well. And maybe if before concluding, I just had one final question. If you had to send one message to all of our listeners who are principals, teachers, parents, what would that message be for them?
The message is that children are children. Treat them like children. Do not expect everything from the children. कि मेरा बच्चा ये भी होना चाहिए, उसको वो भी होना चाहिए, everything in one single child. Earlier we had so many children, but today what is the condition? A nuclear family, 1, 2 child at the most, and all the our thought process, our dreams, everything is on that poor child. So let the child live his childhood days happily. Let him learn in a happy manner, him or her. Create a positive environment for the child, because that is how they learn the best. They will never learn good under pressure. So stop giving them pressure. Make the environment happy. Make it safe for the child, wherein they enjoy learning. They look forward to coming to schools if the school is a happy place for them. They will never want to come to a place which is full of, you can say, pressure, which gives them loads of pressures. They'll never look forward to coming to school. So first of all, we as educators need to make the school a place where children do not want to miss a single day of learning with fun, learning with joy. Same goes to the parents. Please limit your expectations. Be realistic with your expectations. I understand expectations, but please be realistic. Let the child have their own way at times. When it comes to their life, their decisions, please do support them. That's my message to the society, sir. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. I think it's the need of the hour to sort of have this thought process in the adults, right? To not be so childish with their expectations in a way, and let children be children. Very, very beautiful message. And thank you once again, Ms. Hirani, for your time today and for your thoughts on our podcast today.
Thank you so much, Omkar, for giving me this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to talk about the school, about the children. It's the closest to my heart. After all, school is my second family.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you, Ms. Hirani.
Thank you.